Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another part of Pokemon Yellow. On the last part, we managed to get through Viridian Forest, defeat the first gym leader. A lot closer than I would have liked, but so be it. And I basically wouldn't shut up about regional forms of Pokemon for like the entire video, so let's hope I don't do that again. Let's see here. You looked at me, didn't you? Well, no, I was actually looking at the trees behind you, but you were in the way, so piss off. Alright. For future reference, I'm thinking I'm gonna be getting to the point of skipping most trainer battles unless it seems like a particularly difficult one, or if like I'm in the middle of like I'm describing or explaining something. So there's a good chance that we may be skipping these unless it seems like a required battle. Well, after that I realized I should probably get Pikachu back up to the front because he needs some levels. And technically I should probably do the same thing for Caterpie at some point, but so be it. Hey, I met you in Viridian Forest! Hey look, another weak Viridian Forest trainer to beat. Let's see here. Caterpie once again, why am I not surprised? And this one could have a Butterfree, but he decided he didn't want one. Go figure. Alright, we finally encountered a Weedle for the first time. I gotta say, a new sprite's definitely looking better than what I remember from Red and Blue. Anyways, let's beat the crap out of it. Alright, let's see if my RNG has cursed me once again. Well, looks like it hasn't somehow. Oh, and once again, this man could have a Beedrill, but he has chosen not to. Wonderful. These Pikachu's finally getting another level. You beat me again? How could this happen? Alright, let's heal quickly, because I do not want... Alright, I'm gonna throw Caterpie out to the front this time, just so we can get some levels quick, just so we can get, again, a few more pages in the Pokedex. Hi, I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. Hi, I like jeans. They're normal as hell. My mortal enemy again. How could this be? Oh, I forgot. The back sprites for Gen 1 Pokemon weren't actually changed in this game. I forgot. Oh, that's a bit of an awkward one to look at. Alright, Pikachu, get out there. I gotta love the good old days of Game Boy and Game Boy Color limitations. Well, Gen 1 especially, because Gen 2... Oh, for the love of piss, come on! Because Gen 2 kinda... I don't know why, Gen 2 sprites always look so much better to me than other generations. Well, not other generations, I mean in comparison to Gen 1, but again, I guess that's just a situation of getting more experience with the hardware. There we go. Yeah, I'm not letting Pikachu fight that one. Oh, wonderful, we're being caught in the wrap again. Darn what, he was double kick. I'm always too gung-ho whenever it comes to using moves in this game. There we go. There we go. That should hopefully finish it. Alright, let's see here. I don't believe it! Oh, that was boring. Time to go heal because Pikachu basically got its ass kicked. Alright, back into the fray. Let's see what the next dumb trainer quote's gonna be. Are you a trainer? Let's fight! Well, that sums up about 95% of Pokemon right there. Oh, for the love of... Of course. I guess while we're under the effects of poison, here's how it works. It's very annoying. No, what it actually does is just takes a set percentage of your health each turn after you perform an action. In later Pokemon games, it's changed where it'll specifically reduce your health after, like, at the end of the turn once everybody's moved, but in Gen 1 and Gen 2, I believe, specifically those two, it's set up so that it'll specifically reduce health after you take your move in the turn. So only after Pikachu does an action. Or, you know, whatever Pokemon got poisoned. Although I believe if you KO a Pokemon, you won't actually take any poison damage. Kinda how Hyper Beam in Gen 1 had that, I don't want to say glitch, but odd oversight where if you knock a Pokemon out with it, you don't suffer the effects of having to wait a turn. Which always seemed like a really odd design decision to me, but so be it, I guess. Well, I guess while we're here, might as well get Caterpie an easy level. And back to Pikachu again. Apparently entering the battlefield counts as an action that causes me damage. Wonderful. Well, on the bright side, the two Cocoon Pokemon don't have any equivalent of, like, raising special defense, because in Gen 1 that'd basically be raising special, and clobbering them with Thunder Shocks would be... Oh, for the love, why can't I take these things out in 2 hits? As I was saying, clobbering them with Thunder Shocks would be a lot more annoying. I say that, and then Pikachu fails to take him out in like 2 hits, which I would think should be easy. Alright, let's just keep going. There we go. Now, let's see if I actually remember to bring an antidote or not. Probably not. If I had new Pokemon, I would have won. No, if you were a smart person, you would have evolved your crap already. No, I do not. Okay, time to run. Darn it. Alright, so after wasting all my money on buying antidotes, potion, pokeballs, and escape rope, back to it. That look you gave me, it's so intriguing. I'm staring at a wall! That's just that look you gave me. That look you gave the wall. I'm intrigued by it. Be nice. I'll be nice to the wall, not to you. Oh. And now we have a, I would say useless Pokemon, but technically speaking, when you have a Metapod evolved from a Caterpie, it at least can actually hit things. Not very well, mind you, but it can. Let's see here. Hey, you're not wearing shorts! No, I'm wearing long pants, like a normal person. I mean, do you want to go out in shorts in a world where you have Weedles walking around on the ground? Or crawling around. Oh shit, that's level 14. That's not good. I would send out Pikachu, but it would probably get knocked down like 1 hit. Although that isn't much better. Ow. Thank goodness Spearows are a lot frailer than other flying types. Well, to be fair, they're about as frail as Doduos, but then again, that's their own gimmick. Lost! 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 I don't care about your TV preferences, man. I need to get on with this. Yes, I do keep going back to the Pokemon Center after nearly every battle. Why do you ask? You can fight my new Pokemon! Let's see what his so-called new Pokemon is. Unless it's a Venom... okay. Yep, sure figured. Alright. You know, I would think with Metapod getting in on fights with stuff that's like 4 levels above it, it would get, you know, some more experience, but I guess not. So be it, I guess. And again, could be a Butterfree, but Bugcatcher here apparently didn't learn the concept of evolving is good. Well, in most cases, anyway. I guess I should explain this now before I forget. There is one reason why you may not want to evolve a Pokemon right away. For most Pokemon, it's generally just that they'll learn better moves much earlier on than they would have otherwise. But for some Pokemon, it really isn't worth it. If I remember one specific instance for Spearow and Fearow, it's either in this game or the Gen 3 remix of Gen 1, Fire Red and Leaf Green. But that one has a situation where you can get Drill Peck a lot earlier if you get Spearow to level 25 before you evolve it, whereas otherwise you would normally evolve it at level 20. And for some other Pokemon, especially in Gen 1, because it's... For the stone-based evolutions, I'll say this, for the stone-based evolutions that require like a specific element applied to them, like water, thunder, fire, etc., they have a really hard time learning any new moves after you give them an evolution stone. So that'd be another instance of you want to get all the level up moves you can before you evolve it. They can still learn stuff through TM though, so it's not completely screwed over if you do that. And the exceptions to this, I think, are the Moonstone evolutions, or at least I believe so, I'll have to double check. And the Eevee line, because their whole gimmick is you start as a normal type, and you get one of 3 different types to choose from, so the level of moves have to inherently change to reflect that. So that'd be one reason not evolve your Pokemon, but in the case of the Weedle and Caterpie lines, yeah, it's a really dumb idea because they don't learn anything else. Let's see if we have a new encounter here. No, my mortal enemy once again. And I'm gonna skip this because I want to go heal first before anything else. Let's see here. Whew, I better take a rest. Oof. That tone from Cerulean takes a lot out of you. Buddy, you do not know pain until you've gone through Rock Tunnel multiple times. Or rather, get lost in Rock Tunnel trying to find where the Rock Slide tutor is. Anyways, I would love to explain about any new possible encounters, but sadly we are not getting them. Because of course we aren't. Technically not a new encounter, we could have gotten this back at the route next to Viridian City, but to summarize, a Mankey is the earliest fighting type you can possibly get, and funnily enough, it has the distinction of being the fastest one in Gen 1, which is kind of funny when you think about it. So, arguably, I'd say it's probably one of the better fighting types you can have, especially considering the fact that... let's see if Thunder Wave can stop it from killing me. Hallelujah, it did. Okay, Nidoran, get in there again. Where was it? Oh yeah, so Mankey is a very fast, very aggressive fighting type. He does struggle a bit because it suffers from the same thing that I said about Beedrill 4, where very fast physical attackers that don't have much else going for them kind of struggle a bit in comparison to, say, Tauros, which, while it is a fast physical attacker, it has good bulk, and it has the ability to use special moves that other ones just don't really have the luxury of having. Or other physical attackers don't have the luxury of having. But, you know, for a casual playthrough, Mankey's still pretty good. I'm just gonna catch it here just for, again, sake of putting more in the Pokedex. I actually used one in my last playthrough of Pokemon Yellow, and it served pretty well there. Again, it is kind of a situation of you really have to use either a Mankey, a Nidoran, or a Butterfree right at the start. And afterward, you know, you can ditch them from the team if you want, but I just never really feel... It always feels weird to me, like, having a Pokemon that I specifically get for a gym battle and then just never using it again afterward. In any case, an agile Pokemon that lives in trees. It angers easily and will not hesitate to attack anything. Well, it is a fighting type, it's in their nature. Anyways, time to heal with, like, one of very few Pokemon centers that they have out on, like, a random route. Or route, rather. Anyways, let's see if we can get the new encounter on this route just so I can explain it, or at the very least show it off. And most likely catch it. That is not what I was talking about, but I do need to explain Spearows. Same thing as Mankey before, you could get it back on the route next to Viridian, but I just didn't because I don't really feel like using one. Spearows are pretty good. They're much faster and much more aggressive than Pidgeys are in terms of early game flying types. The thing is, though, there's another flying type in this same game that arguably kind of outclasses it. At least in terms of, like, overall stats and whatnot. Probably because the situation of it has the same symptoms as, Butterfree and Beedrill. It evolves at a lower level, but because of that, its stats are inherently a bit lower overall than its counterpart, which will... Well, I'll just say it right now, it's Doduo, because I just realized I technically mentioned one earlier. But, again, it's still a pretty good choice. I will say, it is nice being able to have Drill Peck so easily, but the thing is, though, I feel like I'd rather wait and use a Doduo or a Dodrio in most instances just because of the fact that, it gains access to Drill Peck and Tri-Attack, which in Gen 1 through 3 is an amazing move to have. It's still good in later generations, but the difference there is that the physical special split happened, which basically made it so that having a Dodrio use Tri-Attack is nowhere near as effective because it doesn't have very high special attack. Meanwhile, something like Porygon would use it and it would still be arguably its best move, or at the very least a good option to have. I'll say this, it'd be amazing to have that move on something with, like, Serene Grace. That'd probably just be funny at that point. Let's see. Inept at flying high. Yeah, I keep forgetting it has those dumb animations in Pokemon Stadium where it can't fly for crap. However, it can fly very fast to protect its territory. So, it just, like, flies low to the ground the moment it, like, lands, it just jumps back up quickly. I mean, I guess that's probably how... I guess that's the only way you could fly if you can't do it very well. Alright, let's see if we can get the new super secret chocolate-covered super encounter. Screw it, I give up. Oh. I didn't realize Sandshrews appeared this early. I thought we had to wait till Cerulean to get one. Well, might as well explain now, I suppose. Sandshrews. I'm going to be quite frank, Sandshrew and its evolution are probably some of my favorite Pokemon in Gen 1 and in the whole series overall. I don't know why, Gen 1's always a bit weird to me in terms of Pokemon designs. It's like, it's always a mix-up between some of my least favorites in the whole franchise are in Gen 1, and then it has some of my favorites overall. Like, it's very imbalanced somehow. But, to explain how Sandshrew works, it's a basic ground type, like a lot of other ground types in this generation, very early Pokemon, very good physical defense overall, good physical attack. Speed is, well, it's a bit better than most other ground and rock types, honestly. I think Sandslash's base speed is somewhere around like 65 or so. which is a bit better than its contemporaries. The only real downside is that given that it only evolves at like the mid-20s, I believe, it doesn't have as high stats as, like, say, something like a Golem or Rhydon or whatnot, but still, it's a pretty good option. I like it. And I'm gonna be honest, if you ever take a look at, like, its 3D models in later games, it is the most adorable thing on the planet. Fight me about it. Anyways, let's see if we can catch one. Part of me was thinking about using a Sandshrew for this run, but given that we already have Nidoran, which, spoiler alert, is going to turn into a ground type, I decided against it. Perhaps another day. I'm gonna be honest, Sandshrew is still one of my personal favorite Pokemon of all time, just in terms of cute factor and overall usefulness. And the Alolan form, as I mentioned in the previous part, I like it concept-wise. Well, I like it design-wise, and I like it gameplay-wise. Lore-wise, I still don't understand how you go from ground to ice and steel when you're in the tropics. Whatever. Its body is dry. When it gets cold at night, its hide is said to become coated with a fine dew. I feel like that would just annoy it, given that it's a ground type, but alright. It's also the mouse Pokemon, even though I think Pikachu takes that distinction. Okay, well, I'm not getting that new encounter on this route, so I guess screw it, we'll save that for if we ever encounter it again. For reference's sake, I'm pretty sure Jigglypuff starts appearing on this route, but I may be wrong about that. I suppose before I forget, we do have this gentleman here we can speak to. Hello there, have I got a deal just for you? I'll let you have a swell Magikarp for just $500. What do you say? No! No? Piss off! I'm only doing this as a favor to you. Nah, screw it, we'll buy it just for the sake of getting it. I'll do it for the sake of filling up one page in the Pokedex. No. Alright, so since that didn't show up the Pokedex entry, and also since I forgot to show Pikachu's Pokedex entry, I guess I might as well do that now. I just passed it. See, it is the mouse Pokemon. What's up with it having the same thing as Sandshrew? Wonder if that gets changed later. It keeps its tail raised to monitor its surroundings. If you yank its tail, it will try to bite you. If you yank its tail, it'll try to bite you, instead of, I don't know, just shocking the hell out of you like it normally does. I never realized that. For some reason these two have the same, like, Pokedex distinction. Which, to be fair, I guess in hindsight, that's always been a bit of a weird thing that, you know, like the Pokedex will have, like, these little item describers of the blank Pokemon. Like, you know, obviously for a human player and whatnot, or, you know, for all of us in real life, it makes sense. Like, oh, this Pokemon's based on a mouse, or this Pokemon's based on a bird, etc. Like, you know, this is the snake Pokemon. Alongside the fact that it's just its name backwards. But in the Pokemon universe, how does that work? Because theoretically normal animals don't exist to compare them to. Also, what exactly are the Nidorans named after? Okay, just Poison Pen. Alright. Alright, where's Magikarp? I need to laugh at it. I keep forgetting Magikarp is actually a lot further down the list than I remember. Dear gosh. There. That was just the fish. It looks like it's possessed. Jeez. Famous for being very unreliable, it can be found swimming in seas, lakes, rivers, and shallow puddles. How on earth it got in a shallow puddle to begin with, I'll never know. Alright, on to Mt.Moon. Let's see how horribly this goes. Ah, the wonderful Zubat, which we'll be encountering for many years to come. What can I say about Zubat? Not very good in Gen 1, that's what I can say about it. Zubats. They're effectively the common flying type that you can encounter in caves or dungeons. Specifically caves, because technically I don't think you can find them in places like Pokemon Mansion and whatnot, but, you know, primarily caves. Poison flying type. Not a bad typing overall. Offensively speaking, it doesn't really gain much from poison, but it does gain a lot of defensive utility. Like, poison is very good defensively outside of Gen 1. The reason I say that is because it technically has... I don't know why I keep saying technically so much. It has one extra weakness to bug, which makes no sense to me, but so be it, I guess. But that doesn't really matter, because bug types aren't that... You aren't going to get hit by Pin Missile that often unless you're fighting Jolteon. And if you're fighting a Jolteon, it's going to be using Thunderbolt on you if you're using a Zubat against it. But, I just realized I probably could have caught this thing, but so be it, I guess. Where was it? Right, Zubats, defensively, I think they have a good typing, especially in later generations where Poison becomes much better in terms of defense. The problem is, in Gen 1, that doesn't really matter very much. You're facing Psychic types all the time, so being Poison is more of a detriment. And alongside that, Zubats and their evolution Golbat do not have very good stats at this point in the series. Like, at the end of it all, I think Golbat's best move is, like, Wing Attack, and that's it. So in Gen 1, I wouldn't really recommend it. I guess technically it can learn Fly, but that's still a debatable move, especially in competitive play. Suspicious men are in the cave, what about you? What are you talking about? I'm not suspicious, I'm just ranting and raving about Zubats. What are you doing for a living? I guess this isn't a living, it's more of a hobby, but my point still stands. So yeah, Zubats and Golbats, not very good in the first generation of Pokemon, but I'd say in, like, as early as in the next game, it becomes so much better. Like, Golbat by itself gains access to a lot more useful stuff, and the best part, it gains access to a new evolution, which is amazing, and it really needed it. It gains access to the evolution of Crobat, which is incredibly fast. Like, way faster than it has any right to be, and its other stats are honestly very good, like, as well. I don't believe there's anything, like, particularly high with Crobat outside of its speed and attack, but it's good enough to the point where it can survive a lot more than you think it can. Like, it's very nice, it has access to stats inflicting moves such as Toxic, Confuse... It learns Confuse Ray, which is downright the most amazing thing you can possibly have for... Well, you know, reasonably speaking. It'd be nice if it had Sleep Powder, but, you know, you don't get everything in life. It has access to very nice utility, its moves become better and better as the games go on. I'd say move-wise, in terms of pure offense, it's still a bit lacking in terms of fighting and poison type, but it gets... Trust me, it's better than what it does in Gen 1. Like, at least in Gen 2, it can learn Sludge Bomb, I think. And, I want to say Wing Attack, but I'm not entirely sure if there's a better option in Gen 2 or not. I would assume there is by that point. And it just gets better as the games go on. The one part really annoys me, though, in both Fire Red and Leaf Green and the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games, they don't let you evolve it into a Crobat, which infuriates me. Or at the very least, in Red and Leaf Green, they do let you do it, like, in the post-game, but you can't do it at the, like, in the main game. I honestly think that's a bit of a dumb design idea, but so be it. It's always been a bit of a weird thing to me about the remakes of Pokemon games. Like, if they ever introduce, well, to be fair, it's more so an issue in, Gen 1 and 2, because the Gen 3 and 4 remakes, in terms of new evolutions, they handle it pretty much perfectly. For Gen 1 remake, Fire Red and Leaf Green, anything new that was added in terms of evolutions for Gen 1 Pokemon, such as babies or just straight up new evolutions, you can't... Why am I attacking with Metapod? Throw Pikachu back out there. You just straight up can't access them until the post-game. Which is honestly a bit infuriating, because it means that it's mainly just a bad thing for Golbat. Like, I'd say Golbat is still usable, but trust me, if you're using that line, you definitely want to get a Crobat as soon as possible. Another example would be Chansey, but that one's less of an annoyance, because at least Chansey by itself is still a pretty good Pokemon, but, you know, if you have another evolution, why not go for it? Let's see, what's another example? Oh, right, Steelix. Although that one is inherently a lot harder to get in any game because you have to trade for it. Well, except Diamond and Pearl, I guess. In terms of Gen 2, I think it handled it okay. I believe most of them you can get access to in the main game, except for, like, one? I don't believe you can get access to the trade evolutions for Electabuzz and Magmar until post-game, or at the very least until after you beat the, Well, I guess that depends on your definition of post-game. Do you count Kanto as post-game or not? But yeah, I don't believe you can get those ones until at least Kanto. If I'm wrong, I apologize. And honestly, in Gen 2's case, I'd say it definitely needs it because it has a bunch of Pokemon that get so much better with their evolutions. Although now that I think about it, I can't remember if you can get Mamoswine or not in the base game of the Gen 2 remakes. For some reason, I remember I tried using a Piloswine once, but I couldn't get to a Mamoswine. I'll have to check that. And then the Gen 3 remakes, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, just handles it perfectly at that point. Pretty much any alternate evolution that came about in the time since then, since any new evolution that came out between Gen 3 and Gen 6, you had pretty much easy access to. And in fact, some of the bosses were straight up designed around them. Let's see here. Alright, let's see if this takes it out or not, because I said, screw it, let's just get it for the Pokedex entry. Good enough. The Gen 4 remakes, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I would comment on their ability to allow you access to more evolutions that were introduced and whatnot, but not counting Mega Evolutions, that doesn't really apply to Gen 4 at all. I'm gonna be honest, I actually do miss when they would introduce more and more evolutions to Pokemon, rather than... Well, I guess that's not entirely true. Whenever they introduce like new regional variants, they do occasionally add in a new evolution. But that just kind of brings up a odd point of mine where it's like, okay, so we have a new regional form. Okay, now we should have a balance between using the both of them. And then you give one evolution, so what's the point of the earlier one? I guess I should have brought this up during the previous part, but I truthfully didn't really think about it till now. But, you know, I just realized I skipped Zubat's Pokedex entry. Crap. Pokedex away! There it is. Let's see here. Emits ultrasonic cries while it flies. They act as a sonar used to check for objects in its way. Yeah, because otherwise it's just gonna faceplant. I gotta be honest, Zubat's design has always been a bit weird to me. How, okay, first form, has no eyes. Second form, suddenly grows 2 of them and its mouth gets like 3 times bigger. Crobat, gains 2 extra wings somehow and loses legs. How? Okay, enough of that. Let's see here. What? I'm waiting for my friends to find me here. Well, too bad. I'll be beating them up along the way, too. Because I need money. Oh, hey, look. It was the original mascot for this game. Until somebody decided that yellow was better than pink. Somehow. To be fair, that would be a bit of a funny world to think about, where Clefairy became the main mascot Pokemon instead of Pikachu. And if you're wondering, yes, supposedly that was the original idea at one point, from what I've heard. Right, I forget Clefairies have a lot more special stat than I remember. Okay, Thunderwave time. Anyways, I guess back to the previous thing about, like, evolutions in the remix or whatnot. The Gen 4 remakes don't really apply because at that point, not counting any, like, alternate regional forms that I can think of, it doesn't really have any that apply to that game. The only thing that could would be the few, Mega Evolutions that they got, which I haven't fully gotten through, Shining Pearl yet, but I don't believe it has access to, Mega Evolutions in that game. Which annoys me, but so be it, I guess. Anyways, this battle clearly isn't going anywhere, so time to send out the big guns. And by that, I mean the one that can actually kick. Wonderful. Alright, only one thing to do. Keep mashing the attack button. Dear gosh, I forget how bulky Clefairies are. So I'm starting to think I should have used one for this playthrough, but maybe another day. I lost? What do you expect? You brought one Pokemon. Then again, I only brought two now that I think about it, but my point still stands. Perhaps it is a bit of a waste, but so be it. Alright, let's get some collectibles out of the way. There is one Pokemon that I'm searching for specifically in here, but it's not for a team member, it's for a HM Pokemon. Mainly because the Pokemon in question learns two kind of obscure but not very useful ones, but since it can learn both of them, it's nice to have around just for that one purpose. Whereas the other moves and whatnot... Oh right, I forgot Medpod slows crap. Like having a Pokemon with Cut and Flash, like at the same time is fairly useful, so that's what I'm wanting to get it for. If I remember correctly, for some reason it has a much higher encounter in these little tunnels rather than like the main part of the dungeon. Which I don't understand, but so be it, I guess. Hallelujah, Medpod's finally gotten to level 10. Now for the final evolution, let's see it. I always question why its primary color in this is blue. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't look at the original Butterfree and think blue, but so be it, I guess. Anyways, it learns Confusion, which is very nice to have at this point in the game, but not enough to the point of convincing me to keep using it. But, since it's at level 10, time to send Pikachu back to the front. Wrong way. Alright. Was gonna approach him from the side and prank him, but so be it, I guess. Why do I keep getting Zubats at such high level? Either I clearly haven't been doing enough grinding, or they really adjusted the levels. We, Team Rocket, are Pokemon gangsters! Really? Well, I, Jordan, am the person who's going to kick your ass. Or at least I would if you didn't send a ground type out right away. I'm gonna be honest, Yellow always has this weird thing for me where it always feels significantly more annoying at the start, and yet the mid to end games feel significantly easier in comparison. Mainly just because, again, your primary starter is an electric type. To be fair, if you were going through Red and Blue and you were using, say, Charmander as your starter, you could argue you're going through the same problems of you're facing a lot of stuff that Fire just doesn't have a good time against. But in my opinion, it's still easier because, like, okay, you're dealing with Ground and Rock types. Fire's not gonna have a good time there, but at the very least you can still hit them for special damage. Whereas if you use Pikachu, you can't hit them at all. Like, you could use Quick Attack, sure, but that's not gonna do very much. I blew it! Well, you are Rocket after all, it is your job. Oh, for the love of... Oh, hey, it's the thing I wanted. Hallelujah. Okay, let's see how annoying it is to get a hold of. Paralysis first, thank you. So, Paris. Besides what I mentioned earlier about being a Pokemon that can learn Flash and Cut, I don't know why it can learn Flash, it just does. How is it overall? It's a honestly kind of slow, but kind of bulky physical attacker. Like, I believe its highest stat is mainly just physical attack, and then everything else is kind of, I guess, in the mediocre range, all things considered, except for speed, which is, like, a lot slower than you'd think. The main problem with it overall is the fact that it's grass and bug type, and the reason that's bad is because that's a times 4 weakness to shit. Yeah, it has a times 4 weakness to shit, that's why it doesn't do well in the competitive scene. No, it has a times 4 weakness to both flying and fire, and while those two types aren't exactly that common in competitive Pokemon, for both a casual playthrough and a competitive one, the type matchups just really don't help it that much. It's still somewhat alright, and if anything, it does have one gimmick going for it, in that it and its evolution Parasect are the only two Pokemon that can learn, Spore. Spore is a 100% accurate sleeping move, meaning you can use it and have absolutely no chance of it missing. Unless the game decides to glitch out, but, you know, no guarantees for that. Ah, crap. I did not need that in my life. Screw it, let's start throwing the balls at it. So yeah, Paris not oh, for the love of... Horn attack, go, and please do not, like, make it faint. Alright, let's try the second one. There we go, hallelujah. So Paris overall, not terrible, but it's another situation where in later games it gets better tools, but here both its typing and its stats just really don't help it all that much. Another big issue being that since it's part bug type, that isn't really too useful for it, it just makes it more susceptible to rocks. Burrows under the ground to gnaw on tree roots. The mushrooms on its back absorb most of the nutrition. And then when it gets evolved, it just decides, screw it, multiple mushrooms? No, we get one. Okay, time to run away and heal, because that battle took a lot out of me. Okay, so after healing, basically I just put Butterfree, Zubat, and... yeah, I think it's just those two. Put them back in the PC because we won't be requiring them. Even though Butterfree would be nice to have as backup, I just don't want to bother with it. I am keeping Paris in the party just due to its high level and the fact that once we get access to Cut and Flash, it's going to be our primary HM Pokemon. At least for the two moves that aren't very useful. Pro tip! Not even pro tip. Tip for literally every playthrough. Get your worst Pokemon to learn Cut and Flash, because those moves are useless. Like, honestly, you would have thought at some point that they would have made Cut or Flash have better utility, or at the very least Cut, give it some kind of better utility, rather than just, oh, it's a like 60 at like 60 power normal move or some crap. Like literally every other HM move in. You know what? I'm gonna backtrack because I just remembered Whirlpool exists, and that's not a very good move either. Like the two HM moves that are actually decent to keep on your Pokemon would probably be Strength and Surf. Surf because it's honestly a very common move, both in casual and even in some parts of competitive. I'll say this: it's more. I would argue it would probably be better used in doubles rather than singles, because in singles you'd probably want to have you'd probably want Hydro Pump just for pure power, but I imagine certain doubles formats or certain teams it would be more useful. Or at least it would be until Gen 4 happened, basically made it so that it hits everybody. Anyways, enough of that, I'm not gonna learn Double Team. I'm not gonna bother with, like, abusing accuracy, like, buffs and whatnot. Or evasion buffs, rather, in this case. Let's see what we got here. Oh, shit. What? Don't sneak up on me. You're the one who snuck up on me, you jerk. Ah, it's Super Nerd. My mortal enemy. Besides Rattatas. Here we have Magnemite. Fun thing about it, it's not Steel type yet, so feel free to go use normal type attacks on it. My Pokemon won't do! It's almost as if I brought nothing but electric types to a place that's filled with people using ground and rock types. I wonder what could have gone wrong. Oh, we got rare candy. Ah yes, because I would love ingesting a piece of candy I found in a random cave. Or at the very least the Pokemon will. I'll definitely be saving that for later though. Don't really have anything I want to give a level right away to. Go through this cave to get to Cerulean City. Really, I wanted to go back to Viridian City. I swear, I'm starting to wish I had a rock type or something. Or even a fire type at this point. I lost! I swear, half of this dialogue is becoming more and more uninteresting as the game goes on. I'm running out of stuff to make fun of. Crap. Let's see here. I guess while we're walking around here, I might as well check on Pikachu's happiness, because it's probably not doing too good, given that he's fainted like twice already. Oh. That's better than I expected. In any case, if you're wondering what Pikachu's happiness affects, one thing and one thing only. Besides being a nice little, like, fun thing to keep track of and whatnot, the main purpose of Pikachu's happiness stat is, it's basically just for one optional Pokemon that we can get in the next town. I'll show it off, but I don't plan on using it in the run at all. Let's see here. What do you have to say? Wow, it's way bigger in here than I thought. I mean, you know, it's only a massive, like, underground network of caves and tunnels leading from two towns together. Clearly, it was supposed to be just a casual walk. It was clearly supposed to be a casual, like, 2-minute walk. Or at least it would be if I knew what I was doing. Right. Oh, I lost it! And with that, Nidoran has finally gotten its evolution here. And it has become a Nidorino. What's the difference? Not a whole lot. I'd say the main difference is it doesn't share its name with the female version of Nidoran anymore, because at that point they technically become different species. Although its backspread definitely takes up more of the screen now. If I could stop being pestered by Zubats, that'd be great. Gotta be. Let's see here. Got TM01. I should probably check what my TMs actually are. Wrong button. Let's see. 12, I think, is Bubble Beam, if I recall. No, it's Water Gun. Okay. I don't think I mean, Nidorino might be able to learn it, but I don't really care to. Mega Punch. That might actually be useful, but I'll hold off on it. Alright, what do you have to say, sir?
We're pulling a big job here. Get lost, kid. We're taking all the Zubats and we're putting them... No, it's we're taking all the Zubats and we're moving them somewhere else.
To be fair, if you made Zubat like a stack encounter across any other part of the region, it'd probably be even more annoying than it is now. Would truly be diabolical for them now to think about it. Oh well.
So, you are good. Yeah.
I need to practice my early, like, 50s gangster voice. Well, anyways, after that stupid battle, let's see what we got here. We got an Ether. Hallelujah. If you're wondering what Ethers do, they basically replenish the power points on your moves. Or PP for short, which has led to many a dumb joke about their naming convention. Basically, when your Pokemon's move runs out of power points, you can no longer use the move, and if you run out of power points on all your moves, you are restricted to using Struggle, which in Gen 1 is a basic normal type move with only, like, I want to say 30 or 40 power, and it deals recoil damage to you. So, you know, don't let that happen. And also in Gen 1, it has the flaw of if you get paired up against a ghost type, of which there's approximately 3 of them, you're basically screwed if you can't do anything but struggle. In later games, they fixed that where struggle doesn't really have a type, but still relies on your physical stat, and it still has the problem of it's going to deal recoil damage to you. So, yeah, you don't exactly want to be relying on it.
Losing stinks.
How do you think I feel after losing to the first rival battle? Let's see here. I'm gonna just take that. Ah, Moonstone, wonderful. With this, we do have the option of evolving Nidorino right now, but I'm going to hold off a bit just so that I can check in between parts about what moves it can get while it's a Nidorino, but if I'm recalling correctly, I may be wrong on this, but I don't think the difference in moves is that substantial between Nidorino or Nidoking. Again, I'll have to check, but it's always a thing you gotta be careful with in, especially Gen 1. Stone evolutions either have a situation of they learn basically nothing, or nothing really changes with their movesets. Or again, you have the Eevee line where it changes drastically because the whole point of the Stone evolution is that it branches off completely. Ah, Geodude, wonderful. Oh, time to send out the thing that actually stands a chance against it. Hey, that's cool, we're actually outspeeding an Onix. I mean, I guess we are 7 levels higher, but still, that's kind of funny. If you're wondering why that's ironic, it's because Onixes are actually much faster than you think they are. Like, I think they have a base speed of like 70 or 80. Does that help them at all? No, it does not. Onix is always one of the weirdest Pokemon to me in Gen 1 in terms of its effectiveness, because you would think based on the size and design of it, it would be one of the best rock and ground types you could possibly have. Yeah, no, it's garbage. And there was nothing there. Whenever we get to encounter one in the wild, I'll better explain why it's not exactly very good. What does this guy say? Little kids should leave grown-ups alone. But no! I want to beat you in a Pokemon battle and take your money now! Let's see here. Well, their Rattatas are certainly getting better, but their choice stuff, for the love of piss, Pikachu, come on! Okay, in between parts, I'm gonna check if that I'm gonna check if Thundershock's accuracy is 100 or not, because I feel like I've been getting it missing too often. If you're wondering how it is that 100% accuracy moves can miss even if there's been no accuracy change, it's because Gen 1 suffers from a thing called the 1 in 255 glitch, where basically due to what I believe is an overflow problem, it basically resets the counter back to 1 in terms of accuracy, meaning it'll still miss sometimes. The thing is, though, because it's a 1 in 255% chance, it shouldn't be happening this often. I think it's happened twice in the span of the 3 videos so far, which that should not be happening. I mean, I guess to be fair, I am doing nothing but using Thundershock, but still. And that's done over with. I'm steamed! Oh! How could I lose? It's not like I chose the worst possible Pokemon. Hey, another Paris. I don't know why, Paris' sprite in this game always looks like a weird combination of, it looks cute, but the way the sprite is set up looks kind of odd, in my opinion. I can't tell if it's just the eyes or what. Okay, so all we've encountered is Zubats and Parises, which is funny to me because there's supposed to be a third encounter, but I forgot how rare the dang thing was. Alright, after making it nearly through Mt.Moon, I believe we're gonna cut off the part here. The next part, we'll finally get out of this accursed dungeon, move on to Cerulean, and keep the train rolling from there, I suppose. In any case, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you for the next part then.